Good afternoon, welcome to Bower Folds Daily Bridge for this afternoon's Kingston Press Championship game between Oldham and Featherstone Rovers. The team lineups this afternoon, first of all for Oldham, number 17, Stephen Neild, number 2, Adam Clay, 3, George Tyson, 26, Cameron Pearce-Paul, 16, Sam Wood, 7, Dave Hewitt, 19, Joe Burke, 21, Kenny Hughes, 30, Nathan Mason, 13, Liam Thompson, 12, Danny Langtree, 14, Luke Adamson. On the bench, 27, Matthew Wilkinson, 28, Sadiq Adebaye, 24, Michael Ward, 18, Ben Davis, head coach Scott Naylor. Featherstone Rovers lineup this afternoon, number 1, Ian Hardman, 18, Scott Turner, 23, Josh Hardcastle, 3, Chris Alunya, 5, Luke Briscoe, 7, Anthony Thackeray, 19, Matty Wilde, 8, Darryl Griffin, 9, Keel Carlisle, 10, Andy Bostock, 11, Michael Knowles, 12, 21, James. On the interchange for Featherstone Rovers, number 30, Jack Ormonroyd, 27, Daniel Igbinadian, 13, Richard Moore, and 32, Jordan Baldwinson. Head coach is John Sharp, referee is Mr. Bennett. My name is Joanne Fitzpatrick. This is Rovers TV, and co-commentating today with me is Ben Gummersall. Good afternoon, Ben.
Good afternoon, Joanne.
So we're at Bower Fold. It's a sunny day. It's a little different from the game that we played in last year, when I think we had torrential rain and a very greasy rugby ball out there on the pitch, and Featherstone ended up losing that, unfortunately. It was a tight one and they lost it by 16 points to 14.
Yeah, they did. It was a horrible day that day down here at Bowerfield. The pitch was greasy, the ball was greasy. It's an awful slope here as well as this pitch. And Rovers that day, they came close, but they just lost out in the end.
They certainly did. Let's have a look down the Featherstone Rovers team first of all then. We've got a few changes in the lineup compared to the ones we saw against Batley last week. Notably, Michael Knowles coming back after quite a few games out, 3 matches absence, and Luke Briscoe, first game after 6 games absence.
It's a big boost having Luke Briscoe back, especially for Featherstone Rovers. He's been a big loss. Can't take anything away from the players who've come in his place, though, Joanne. They've done a good job, but when you've got a player of the quality of Luke Briscoe out on that wing, it does make such a big difference to the team.
He did come back, didn't he, briefly against London in Blackpool, but he didn't have a very good experience out there on the park, and perhaps, well, in hindsight, it shows that he perhaps came back a little bit too early.
Yes, he did, and like you say, I think he picked up a further aggravated the injury which he had in the build-up to that game. Which obviously meant he has missed out again for a further few weeks. So it's been a big loss for this Rovers team, I think, especially on defence, Joanne, as well. We've seen problems sometimes with kicks going out to that on that defending missing, and I think that's an aspect is disrespectful, but I think he's stronger in that position than the others.
And he does replace Missy Talapapa. He's been rested after 13 games on the bounce. Talapapa probably due for a little bit of a rest.
Possibly so. I mean, talking to 1 or 2 Rovers fans that I've spoken, so surprised maybe that he's not even in the 19. You can maybe have him as 18th or 19th man and have him in the squad, presence within that 19-man squad. He is here today, but obviously not named in the squad. But it's a bit surprising, but like I say, he's had a long spell in that first team. He was named as captain for this year, although Ian Hardman has taken on that role and done what you can only say is a sterling job.
Certainly has. Another name on that sheet, Heritage number 1062. That's the 1,062nd player to pull on a Featherstone Rovers shirt in a first-team game, is the new signing, Daniel Igbinadian.
Yeah, and he's a big unit, since when you look at him out on the field, watching him warm up there. Excited to see this player off the bench today. He is along with the other 3 players on there. But once again, looking at that Rovers bench, Joanne, with John Sharp today, he's gone with size on the bench. He's got Ormonroyd, Igbinadian, Richard Moore and Jordan Baldwinson all off that bench. He's gone with power up front, hasn't he?
It's huge, is that bench. I mean, again, we always say this, don't we? I'm not sure who'd go into the backs if ever we got an injury. God forbid that, but it is a huge, huge bench, and John Sharp certainly does like to pick a very big bench to bring on, and it worked against Batley last week, didn't it? If we think about the Batley game, we were getting Featherstone Rovers were getting pulled into a bit of a dogfight, weren't they? And ended up pulling away, and he had to bring Richard Moore off because he was getting drawn into it a little bit. But the fact was that we had good players on the bench to replace him with.
We did, and that was the turning point last week for me was the introduction of Talapapa in the second half. He made such a think. It's safe to say that Matt Diskin said the same thing, that Talapapa, when he came on, changed the game totally last week. And I think I am surprised we haven't got at least one back on the bench. When you talk about, if somebody gets injured, what's going to happen? It didn't happen. But you can't dispute the decision that he's made. He's gone with strength and power off the bench. It'll be interesting to see how that works.
It certainly will. Featherstone have been warming up out in the sunshine here. They're going to be playing in blue and white, obviously, because Oldham are in the red and white. As they're just coming onto the pitch now, other teams. We're just sorting our Wi-Fi out at the moment. We'll probably have to sort it out at half-time, I think.
It looks like Rovers heading up towards the top end of the field, towards what looks like the Lockwood and Greenwood stand. Whether that's the name of the stand or just the advertisement. Back in the late place up towards the right-hand side as you're watching on the DVD. Whether they're just lining up there or whether that's the way direction we're playing, I don't know yet. But
there is going to be a minute's silence before the beginning of this game for the sad loss of Adam Cooper, the Culture Eagles player who died while playing the sport last weekend. So across the Rugby Football League, there will be a minute's silence. So we'll let you know when that happens. As Oldham come out onto the pitch now, and again they'll be lining up aside their opposing team, Featherstone Rovers.
I think we're in for a potentially, cracking game of rugby league today, Joanne. Featherstone Rovers just need that win. One win to secure that place in the top four after the result for Halifax yesterday.
It's very important, isn't it, this game? And we're just going to have the minute silence now.
Adam leaves behind his partner and 3 children. Thank you.
Minute silence immaculately observed there by the crowd here at Bowerfold this afternoon. Both teams lining up now, ready to play this game. And as Ben was just saying before that observation of the minute silence, it is a very important game for Featherstone Rovers in terms of being able to gain that top 4 place and secure it. We don't want to be going to Halifax. We don't want to be playing against Halifax at Post Office Road next week and to lose away, needing those 2 points. As Scott Turner gets this game underway, it's a high kick towards Oldham. It's taken well by Oldham, and Wildy and Hardcastle are in there on the tackle with John Davis and force the Oldham player back towards his 10-metre line. Oldham still in their own 20 at the moment. Using the forwards to drive it forward. That was Nathan Mason who'd taken it forward for Oldham there. On the third tackle, Oldham play the ball and it comes across the right-hand side. Featherstone tacklers in attendance, but get the offload away, and Oldham marching up the field now over the halfway line. So enterprising play by Oldham there. It was a good pass to Joe Burke who took it forward. Now on the run around, Liam Thompson takes the pass from Hewitt. It's the last tackle and Oldham are about 25 metres away with Hewitt. He puts the kick into the corner. It comes, ricochets off Briscoe and it's going to go back to Oldham. It's back to 1. Oldham get the ball back on the 10 metres. Referee says, let's play the ball. Oh, he's giving a scrum. It must be 2 knock-ons, I do believe, there. So he did say play on and waved it back to 1, didn't he there, Ben?
He did. A really good kick there from Dave Hewitt. Drilled it towards that touchline. It's been a good step from an Oldham point of view, making plenty of yards up the field. The territory, and I think Luke Briscoe trying to trap it so he could pick it up, but the power behind the ball possibly surprised me. It got away from opportunity for points early doors, Joanne.
So Hewitt feeds a scrum and it comes to Joe, moves it forward, but Featherstone tacklers are there, and I think he's lost the ball. No, actually the penalty's gone to Oldham.
I'm going to get booted out here.
You are. You reckon?
Cheers, pal. Get a big one.
That's all we've got, so.
Might be painted on this.
Could be.
Not enough X's in this.
Oh, look at that. That's alright, it's just got its all wrinkled up back.
What's up? Look at it one way round. Look at it one way round.
No, it's not ball. Time off. On you, Michael. Time on. Stop check. Stay low, boys. Stay low. Come, mate, sir. Heel, you come, mate. Go. Well done. 1. 2. Featherstone! 1. 4. Go. 2. Over here, guys. Over here. Go. 3. Over here, guys. Oh, come on. Forward back. Mike, listen, we're working for the south. You working, boy? Come on, let's go. We're taking over, stop. We're taking over. Go. Hold it, boys. Hold it. They came out, boys. Come on. No! Hold it. Hold. I'm not running that.
I don't think comms are working. I think comms are working.
This is a sporting announcement for the coach driver from Featherstone. He's trying to Could you please return to your vehicle? Thank you.
mate. Put it in. Oh! That's two. Two, right? That's two. Good, Marlon! Hold it, guys. Come on! Use it! Go a bit quicker! Hold on, guys. Hold. Yeah, two. Shut it, go. Hold. 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 Go. Okay. Okay. Too fine. Too fine. He's offside. He's offside. Offside? Involved. Offside involved. Come on, look. You're then.
What happened there?
In between, Nick. Yeah, got you.
He's mad when they do that. He's mad when they do that.
Sorry, mate. Okay, on you. Go. Hold it, boys. Hold. Go, one. Go, man. Hold it, Tom. Hold it. Hold. Go, two. Good lad, bro. Okay. Stay on. One. There, boys, go one. Right on.
No, I'm not even looking at the team sheet. I didn't realise this was going.
There, look, boys. There, look, lad. Very good touch. Neil! Come on, Drew, give me an inch. On your line. He works the boy. He works the boy. Stop. Come on, boys. Go, one. Hands off them! Don't get your hands off them! Two forward passes.
Do you want, can you keep an eye on that? Do you need to get shots or? Exactly.
Yeah, it will be. It's fine.
Just sort this comment out.
Okay. Yeah, go mate, it's fine.
Go on, I want to put them on. Don't let Taylor put me in. Down in front of you. Ian, get in that thing. Go. Oh! He works in here. Go! Hold it, Nick. Hold, let it go. No, sorry. Come on, boys. Hold. Good thing, come on, mate. Hold the right side. Hold it, boys. Hold the boys. Hold. Go. Side. Okay, this side. Let's go. That's good. Ball? Sorry. Now, put the through. Come on, boys. We'll take there. The borderline one here. Yeah. You think we'll be good? We're all working for me. Keep working, yeah. I know it's bastard, but if you get on the line, I'm hanging over it. Boys, keep working for me. Go stay down, Lou. Take place. So, get down. Oh, don't move! Come on, boys, hold. Hold, go, go. Hold it. Hold, go. Come on, boys, come on. Stay and go. Back down, boys. Oh, nice, big move. Come on, boys. Oh, go. Okay. No. Forward, back to start with. They were forward to start with, Luke. Keep position. Yeah, got it. Go forward to start with. Alright.
Well, maybe 7 or 8 metres in from that left-hand touchline. It's the correct side for him this time. He's been pretty good with the boot so far whilst he's been kicking Ian Hardman. Hopefully I've not jinxed him by saying that. So then, here is Ian Hardman, then here comes the kick. I have jinxed him, I do apologise, Ian. That one goes to the left of the uprights. But we've had, coming up to 20 minutes gone here at Bowerfield. And it's Oldham 0, Featherstone Rovers 10. So then Oldham are going to restart this game for now. Playing up that slope in the first half. It's important Rovers do get some points on that board. So here's the kick-off then from Oldham. It's another high kick. It's deep towards Anthony Thackeray again. Who takes that ball? Who moves that into Darryl Griffin again? He's tackled well. And Rovers now bringing that ball out with Chris Alunya. Working out from their own 20, Rovers now. Andy Bostock with that drive in as well. He takes that tackle. Featherstone Rovers on their own 20. The ball comes right to John Davis. He's looked strong in this opening quarter. He gets Rovers up to the 40. That's a good drive from Davis. Carlisle comes left again to Matty Wildy. That kick is charged down, so it is going to be head and feed to Featherstone Rovers, I think, at this scrum on their own 40. Yes, it is. So Rovers are going to get head and feed at a scrum. Maybe 8 metres shy of halfway. As Oldham prepare to make a double change, we're going to see Michael Ward. And we're going to see Ben Davis shortly for this Oldham team.
So Featherstone going to feed this scrum with Matty Wildy. Goes to Ian Harmon. Featherstone Rovers looking commanding at the moment. After 20 minutes of play, they're leading by 10 points here at Bowerfold.
And they are looking strong at the moment, especially in attack going forward, Joanne.
Luke Briscoe trying to get to his feet to play the ball as Oldham player in the ruck. It comes to Darryl Griffin now as he takes it forward 30 metres away from that Oldham line.
Darryl Griffin will play the ball 30 metres from the
Comes to Carlisle. Carlisle across to Thackeray. Thackeray to Michael Knowles. He gets wrapped up though by 3 Oldham players. 25 metres away from the line. It comes down that left-hand side again with Thackeray. Thackeray with the inside pass. And Ian Hardman still with the ball. He's bouncing off Oldham players. He eventually gets put to the floor. It's 15 metres out. It's the last tackle. It's going to come to Thackeray. Thackeray now puts the kick to the left-hand corner for Scott Turner to challenge. It's taken well by Oldham. And they survive that Featherstone onslaught, and they're a couple of metres away from the line as they play the ball and come away from their own line.
Yeah, important, Rovers. Keep the discipline now. Keep this Oldham team pinned down here. They've had a good period for the last 10 minutes, and in fact, not only have they kept the discipline, Joanne, they're forced to knock on from Oldham in their own 10-metre line, and they're going to get a scrum in the Oldham 10, head and feed.
Yeah, bad news for Oldham there, isn't it? Featherstone Rovers with even more pressure. They must be fed up with seeing those blue and white jerseys with the ball in hand at the moment.
Coming down that slope well, Featherstone Rovers at the moment, utilising that left-hand side, especially with Anthony Thackeray in particular. He's looking really dangerous down the Oldham left-hand side, as Oldham have made that double change now. On come Ben Davis and Michael Ward, and off has come Joe Burke.
And Nathan Mason come off as well. So Josh Hardcastle with the ball on the 10 to Carlisle. Carlisle to Wildy. Wildy to Davis. Davis takes the ball forward over the 10-metre line. He's 5 metres out from that try line is Matty Wildy. John Davis even, sorry. And it comes over to the left-hand side with Thackeray. Thackeray with the ball out to Hardman, who's coming to the line. Hardman gets put to the floor, though, 3 metres away. Carlisle in at dummy half to Thackeray. Thackeray lays it off to Lockwood. Lockwood shows a dummy. Lockwood's going for the line. Has he got the ball down? I think James Lockwood has got the ball down over that try line to further extend Featherstone Rovers' lead to 14 points to 0.
It was a great break from James Lockwood down that left-hand side, coming onto the ball with strength and with speed, able to get that ball down, maybe a similar position to the second try Rovers scored from Chris Alunya, maybe a little bit further in field. But Featherstone Rovers, Joanne, coming down that field with real intent at the moment, real purpose going forward, causing problems every time they attack down that left-hand side especially. And Featherstone Rovers, like you say, 14-0 up. We've had barely 24 minutes gone here. And Rovers looking in a really commanding position at the moment.
Certainly are. Every time they are attacking that Oldham try line, they seem to be getting over with ease, and Moore and Baldwinson are going to come on the field for Griffin and Bostock. So it doesn't let up for Oldham, really, does it, when you see the likes of Richard Moore and Jordan Baldwinson coming on the field?
Not at all. We talked about the strength and power on that Featherstone Rovers bench today. Richard Moore, Jordan Baldwinson, we know the damage they can do. You know how much of a fan I am of Jordan Baldwinson as well.
I do. Ian Hardman then with this conversion attempt, about 10 metres in from that left-hand touch line. 8 metres maybe. 8 metres in from that left-hand touch line.
It is the correct side for Ian Hardman, a right-footed kicker. Hopefully the last one that he missed will be just to get a measure of it. Strikes
the ball. It's successful this time. The Featherstone Rovers fans behind those posts confirm that it is successful, that Featherstone Rovers extend their lead. It is now Oldham 0, Featherstone Rovers 16 after 25 minutes of play.
And what was important, Joanne, today, from a Featherstone Rovers point of view, was to get a good, strong start. Oldham, don't forget, we said it before the match, they beat Toulouse down here a few weeks ago, so they're not an easy team to beat. It was important for Rovers to keep solid in defence, get some early points, and they've done both of those things, and they're looking really good for the money at the moment.
Sam Wood with the kick-off. It's a high-hanging one, but it's taken well by Hardman, who passes it to Moore for his first touch of the ball in this game. Moore takes it up just short of the Featherstone 20. Baldwinson now with his first touch, and he bounces off the first Oldham attempts at tackling there and makes an extra 5 metres on the back of it. Carlisle in at dummy half, not the best of passes to Wildy. Now it goes to Davis.
Davis has had a good start for me this afternoon as well. John has taken that ball in really well at times.
And Josh Hardcastle fumbles with the ball. They were going for a short play down this right-hand side for Featherstone Rovers. Josh Hardcastle just fumbling with the ball there, and it's going to be a scrum to Oldham. Just within the Featherstone Rovers half.
About 5 metres inside the Rovers half. Oldham gets some territory now. They're going to get some possession, a chance to attack that Rovers line, which they did in abundance in those opening few minutes. But, they had 2 or 3 sets in the opening stage of this game on the Rovers line. Rovers defended those sets well, and it's important now, John, that they do the same thing now. They need to defend this set, keep Oldham out, and then they've got an opportunity to really turn the screw.
Hewitt going to put the ball in at this scrum. As we sat in the sunshine here at Bowerfold, it's lovely weather. Comes out the back, it comes to Pierce Paul. He gets tackled though. Oldham not really made many metres from that first phase from the scrum as they make a change as Wilkinson comes on, but that's a great hit by Baldwinson and more there on Ben Davis. He'll have felt that. Liam Thompson now with the ball, 30 metres out from the Featherstone line.
It's Kenny Hughes who's come off for Oldham.
Wilkinson in at dummy half. He's gone into that hooking role that Kenny Hughes has vacated. 25 metres out now, Oldham, and the ball comes to this right-hand side to Wood. Wood puts a pass in there to Danny Langtree, but he's met by some ferocious tackling there from Knowles and Thackeray. Oldham 15 metres out, and great tackling by Thackeray, although Oldham get the ball away from that tackle, and the kick comes in, and Wildy fields it though. Wildy's away. Wildy's making his way up the field, but he gets sandwiched by two Oldham tacklers there, does Wildy, and he plays the ball on the 20. Taken by Luke Briscoe himself from dummy half, up to the 30. Hardcastle in at dummy half now, and he takes it himself again. Been learning from Missy Talapapa last week when he was doing exactly the same. It comes to Jordan Baldwinson now, over halfway into that Oldham half. Carlisle in at dummy half to Moore. Moore, that's a great tackle there on Richard Moore. He's put to the floor, and Carlisle with a kick from dummy half. That's for Connor Williams to chase, which he does. He picks it up, but the chase is good from Featherstone Rovers with Lockwood and the man who put the kick in, Keele Carlisle, and the tackle him 5 metres away from his own line, Connor Williams there. And now Oldham are taking it forward to the 20 with Tyson. Comes into the middle of the field. Baldwinson, Moore and Davis in attendance on that tackle. Oldham on their own 30. Wilkinson in at dummy half. And another substitution, Sadiq Adibayi comes on for Oldham.
It's fast and furious pace this game at the minute, Joanna Campbell. You know, end-to-end play, it's what you really want from the championship, isn't it?
Hewitt puts the kick in. It's Danny Langtree that's gone off for Oldham. Hardman checks that ball with his foot and picks it up, and he takes it over the 10-metre line, the Featherstone 10. So it was a kick for territory there from Dave Hewitt to Ian Hardman. Oldham are wanting to keep Featherstone up that end of the field. They don't want them anywhere near the try line because they've been so successful. Josh Hardcastle in a bit of space there, takes it up just short of the 30. Scotty Turner in at dummy half, but that's a good tackle by Wilkinson on him, the marker. Carlisle with a kick from dummy half again, but that's not a good kick. That goes straight into the hands of Steve Neal, the fullback.
Needs to be finding the ground with those kicks, Joanne. When we get in those kicks, it's a good kick from deep. Got the distance on it, but not finding the ground, and it gives Steve Neal the opportunity to take it on the full, make yardage on the full, and now Oldham around halfway.
It's a bit of a rushed kick from Carlisle if I was going to criticise it, and Oldham now looking bright. They're getting up to the 40, over the 14 in fact. Wilkinson at dummy half, and it comes now to Ben Davis. Ben Davis 25 metres out. Wilkinson goes from dummy half again and gets the ball to Michael Ward. Ward's on the 10. They're making quite a few metres forward here, are Oldham with his set of 6. It comes out to Sam Wood, puts a pass into George Tyson, who drops the ball. And the referee says play on. Ian Hardman takes it. I think they must have kicked it through there, Oldham. Ian Hardman took it behind the line, and they've actually forced a drop out of Oldham, so a repeat set for them.
I thought that had been put down by Oldham. Referee are judging that they've got the kick through there, so they're going to get another repeat set for the second time. Rovers, though, looking solid in defence. That's a couple of times they've had Oldham forced dropouts, Joanne, but Rovers defensively looking strong at the moment, and Jack Ormondroyd is on for Featherstone Rovers as well. He'll add a bit of beef up front, won't he?
He certainly will. I think Ian Harmon's just getting some attention. He got crunched as he dived onto that ball over the line. I think it was like a big daddy splash down, the tackle on him. So
daddy splash, I remember those back in the day.
Showing my age now, back to the 70s world of sport. As Martin Overton brings us some licorice all sorts along the bench. Thank you very much.
Could get used to this.
Licorice Festival in Pontefract, of course. Just waiting for the dropout to come at the moment while Hardman receives that attention. It looks as though he's okay to carry on.
Talking about licorice whilst there's a game of rugby going on, Joanne.
We have to have a bit of Pontefract over here, don't we, over in the other side of the Pennines.
Thank you for that, Martin. Much appreciated.
Knowles with the dropout then. Goes up to halfway and it's taken by Oldham and they drive it in with Ben Davis. 40 metres away from the Featherstone line now. Adebayi, his first touch of the ball since coming onto the field. The 4 substitutes that Oldham have brought on have added a little bit of extra in attack for them, I'd say.
They have. I mean, that was a great drive in from Adebayi then, making good metres forward. Rovers are back. Oldham, are back inside the Rovers 20. They're bringing that ball out at the moment.
They're keeping the ball alive, aren't they? There's a drive here forward by Oldham and they're going to try and get the ball over. I think he lost it and I'm not sure.
Penalty.
It's a penalty. So Michael Ward was going for the try line. I'm not sure if it was reefed out the ball as he tried to put it down. I think they're asking if we could have a penalty try in that situation, but the referee says no, it's a penalty under the post for reefing the ball out.
I don't think he was a guaranteed try scorer. Yes, he was going for that line, but the Rovers' numbers were there to hold him up, so I don't think he was in the act of getting that ball down. So yes, it's a penalty, Joanne, but
it's
a penalty try now.
Hewitt out to the right-hand side with Pierce Paul. Tackles coming from Featherstone Rovers. They'll be desperate to keep Oldham out. It's a purple patch for Oldham at the moment. It's coming to Hewitt again, and he lays it off to Liam Thompson. Wilkinson in at dummy half to Hewitt. Hewitt shows the ball. It goes to Wood, and that's good tackling by Thackeray and Knowles over there on that right-hand side. Oldham about 5 metres out from the Featherstone line. Wilkinson in at dummy half. He shows it one way, goes for the try line. Is he prevented from scoring or has he got it over? I think he has. The referee confirms. Matthew Wilkinson with the try. Over on that right-hand side.
Disappointing try there from Rovers to concede. Matthew Wilkinson, it was going over for the try. Disappointment for Oldham to be able to get that ball down in the manner they did. Rovers have defended so well, Joanne, throughout the course of this game so far, but just not able to get that, not able to keep Wilkinson out on that occasion. Wilkinson over for the try. Oldham get the first points of all. We've got about 5 minutes left to half time here at Bauer Field, and it is now Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 16.
John Trapp will be disappointed that they've let that try in late in this first half, but what I would say is that Matthew Wilkinson certainly has added quite an extra dimension to the Oldham attack since he's come on. He's looked lively at dummy half, and he took it out on that right-hand side from dummy half. He dummied one way, went the other, and fooled the Featherstone defence and got over. It's a difficult kick out there, though, near that right-hand touchline. Would you say it's about a metre in there from that right-hand touchline from where we're sat?
From what I can see, you probably agree that's probably about a metre, maybe a metre and a half, something like that. It's tight to the touchline, though. A difficult kick, and I think it is going to be
Dave Hewitt, is it?
Dave Hewitt, I think, yeah.
So Oldham now going for this kick. The ball's come off the tee.
Just adds the tension when that's happened, doesn't it?
Certainly does. So here we go again, and the kick comes in. It's not successful though, so Oldham still remain on 4 points here at Bowerfold. It's Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 16.
And we've got about 6 minutes left on my clock to half time, so it's important for Rovers now how they respond defensively, Joanne. They need to keep the discipline, pin Oldham back, not concede any more points. If they can even get another score before half-time, it should put them in good stead for that second half going up the slope.
And that's a kick-off come from Featherstone Rovers. Oldham have fielded it behind their own try line, but they take it forward 8 metres away now. Wilkinson, the try scorer, in at dummy half. Bringing it away over the 10-metre line, Oldham. Featherstone will be wanting to keep Oldham down in this part of the field where they have had so much success up until that Wilkinson try. And it did come from Oldham keeping the ball alive. They were certainly throwing the ball about in attack to get themselves in that position. Adebayi now, the substitute, and that's a high tackle that's come in there on Adebayi. I think it was from Jack Ormonroyd. So there's a penalty going against Featherstone Rovers, so that's going to march Oldham back up to the other end of the field, and certainly not what Featherstone were wanting from that set of six as Adebayi is on the floor receiving treatment.
So close to the end of the set as well. Rovers have been strong in defence up to that point, pinning Oldham back in their own half, restricting them to their own half as the time is called off for Adebayi to get treatment. But that'll be disappointing for John Sharp. They'd had a good defensive set there. They were looking solid in defence, and then to concede a penalty so close to the end of that set, Joanne, gives Oldham territory, gives them another full set in that Rovers third of the field and an opportunity to get more points on the board.
And we've got Michael Knowles out there getting some attention to his head as well. He's having some bandaging put on, and that'll be underneath his scrum cap that he wears as well. So
the referee called time back on then for the Oldham player, did not realise Michael Knowles was injured, then he's called it straight back off again.
Yeah. We had a few extra seconds sneaked in there as Sam Wood is going to take this kick to touch.
So not only is Michael Knowles now wearing a scrum cap, he's now wearing a bandage around his head as well.
Sam Wood with that kick. So Oldham are going to take the tap 20 metres away from the Featherstone line. George Tyson it is that takes that tap. It goes to Wood and then to Adebayi, who's recovered from that headshot from Ormonroyd, but he's strong, he's pumping his legs, he's taken 3 Featherstone Rovers players with him. He's 5 metres out. Wilkinson now, and it comes out to Hewitt. Hewitt lays it off to Liam Thompson. Thompson's a couple of metres away from the Featherstone line. Danger time for Featherstone Rovers here once again as Wilkinson gets out to Wood. Wood on Knowles. He's looking for the offload, but isn't able to get it away, Sam Wood. There's a mess at the ruck, and Featherstone give another penalty away, so marker's not square. I said it was a messy ruck, and Wilkinson's going to take the tap. It goes to Adebayi. Adebayi taking it forward. Featherstone having to get through a lot of tackling here. Wilkinson in at dummy half. It's going to come into the middle with Hewitt. Hewitt passes it out to Liam Thompson, who gets tackled. Wilkinson in at dummy half again, and this time it's laid off to Ward. Ward taking it forward from deep, but Featherstone tackles good and he gets the ball away, and Oldham knock on there. Relief for Featherstone Rovers as Steve Neild knocks that ball on. The ball had come flying out from Michael Ward in the tackle to try and keep the ball alive because it had been successful for them before in the lead up to that Wilkinson try, but it hasn't come off for them that time.
Yeah, Oldham there, an opportunity they had to Stephen Neild there, just not able to take the ball. Rovers need to be careful with these offloads, Joanne. A lot of offloads coming in from the Oldham team. They're able to get that ball away. It's stretching that Rovers defence at times. A mistake on that occasion, though, keeps Oldham out. Wildy
going to put the ball in at this scrum. It's 10 metres away from the Featherstone line. Featherstone not being up the Oldham end with the ball in hand for quite a while, so they'll be looking to get up to that end where the Featherstone Rovers fans are, behind those posts, as Hardman gets tackled just short of the 20. It comes to Alunya now. He gets bet by Adebayi, though, and Luke Adamson, the loose forward. Into the middle. Josh Hardcastle's come for a taste of the action there in the middle. Takes it up to the 40. Carlisle in at dummy half. It's coming to Baldwinson. Oldham defence is good, though. It's the 4th tackle. Plays the ball. It comes to Moore. Moore gets tackled as well. It's good defensive stint from Oldham here. It's the last tackle. It comes to Thackeray on that left-hand side. He puts a little chip over. Neild takes it well, though. And Knowles chases well. So Neild gets tackled 15 metres away from his own line.
Good kick there from Anthony Thackeray. Chip over the top, causing a lot of problems there. Stephen Neild taking that ball well. Michael Knowles judging his tackle to perfection there. As soon as Stephen Neild hit the ball, Michael Knowles was there completing that tackle And Oldham now bringing that ball out from their own line. They're just shot on their own 40. And there's a steal from Acton half here. But Rovers defence.
Pierce Paul there from Acton half back, and he plays the ball. It goes to Wilkinson. Wilkin out now to the Adamson. He takes it up to the Featherstone 40. It's a short field here at Bowerfold. It's the last tackle. Wilkinson comes to Wood. Wood with a left-footed high kick for Ian Hardman. It's been misjudged by Hardman, and Briscoe and Wildy go for it together, and eventually Wildy comes up with it. It could have ended a lot differently for Featherstone Rovers there, Ben.
That came down with snow on that, didn't it? The height on that kick there from Oldham. Ian Hardman misjudging it. But fortunately, Wildy was there and Hardcastle there. Wildy took control, said, this one's mine. Rovers bringing that ball now. There's another penalty won by Hardcastle there. So Rovers are going to get put further yardage up the field into the Oldham half, you fancy. And Rovers could really, we were in the dying embers of the first half on my stopwatch. And it's still Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 16.
Oldham not able to deal with the fast play of the balls, the fast rooks by Featherstone Rovers there. Richard Moore now takes it over the Oldham 40. Adebayo, and he plays the ball with Adebayo still on his back, but it's allowed to play on by the referee. Baldwinson driving it in now. He's 25 metres short of that Oldham line. It comes to Wildy. Wildy shows and then decides to go himself, but Adebayo in with the tackle. 15 metres out now, Featherstone Rovers. Carl Oldham is one way, goes the other to Hardcastle as an interception attempt by Dave Hewitt, but puts the ball to ground, so Featherstone are going to get the scrum on the 10.
Yeah, Dave Hewitt there going for the intercept. So I don't know if he was actually trying to take the ball or just stop the ball going out to the wing. Luke Briscoe, I think, had a clear run to the corner if he'd been able to take that ball. But Rovers are going to get head and feet in a scrum on the Oldham 10, piling on the pressure now in the dying embers of this first half. An opportunity for some more points to close the half out. And I think if we can get more points at this stage, Joanna, this late on in the half, I think it could be good for Rovers.
Pierce Paul just down on his haunches in back play, getting some treatment from the referee. Referee's going to have a chat with him, Mr. Roberts, to see whether he's okay to carry on. Looks as though he will be. The rest of the players taking on water. It is a warm day here in Staley Bridge.
It's the first time Feathers Rovers have had this referee as well, isn't it, John, Mr. Roberts? I don't think his referee does before.
I think he's done all right this first half.
Yeah.
It's not been too contentious, unlike last week, where a few coach said things out of turn. Anyway, carry on. Matty Wildy with the ball. Going to feed the scrum on the 10, the Oldham 10, and referee just saying, can we pack that scrum properly, please, gents, to the Oldham players. Wildy puts the ball and it comes out the back with Carlisle, gets it to Thackeray. Thackeray to Alunyu, who stood deep. Alunyu taking it forward, and he gets tackled 10 metres out. And there's another penalty for Featherstone Rovers. Alunyu not allowed to get up to play the ball. Alunyu's looking to see what we're going to do. Featherstone are going to take the tap with Keele Carlisle on that 10. Comes to Thackeray. Thackeray to Ormondroyd. Ormondroyd charges forward.
That's a great drive from
Takes
Jack
four
Ormondroyd.
people to tackle him. Ormondroyd now plays the ball. Keele Carlisle. It goes behind Jordan Baldwinson. It's not a knock on though. Referee says it went backwards. Featherstone Rovers survived that. The 12 metres out with Matty Wildy. Managed to grab that ball. It was a bit of a mix-up again, a little mix-up there. And Richard Moore going for the line though. Just gets tackled short. Still going. Richard Moore now plays the ball. Keele Carlisle. It comes over to Thackeray on that left-hand side to Alunyu, but he goes without the ball, does Alunyu, and he's put the ball to ground, so it's a scrum to Oldham on that 10-metre line.
Yeah, Rovers going forward well there, driving that ball in. Richard Moore was held up inches short of that line. The ball swung out left to the Rovers left, where they've looked most dangerous in this first half. Chris Alunyu, though, not able to take the ball in on that occasion. He had an opportunity if he could have done, but not able to take that ball in. And Oldham are going to get a relieving scrum, head and feet. We've got another Oldham player down in back play. So we're saying that physio have been busy this first half, haven't they?
I think they might be having breathers. I'm not sure.
Well, that's a bit controversial, Joe.
Well, it could be true. I think they're just taking a chance to take on some air. Oldham going to put this ball in the scrum with Sam Wood. Comes out of the back. Pierce Paul takes it forward. He's met though by Davis and Ormonroyd. Plays the ball. It was a steady play, the ball. And now Clay, I think it is, taking it forward, the winger. Wilkinson in at dummy half. Comes into the middle with Michael Ward. Ward up to the 30, the Oldham 30. Wilkinson again at dummy half. He gets it out to the right-hand side to Ben Davis. Featherstone Rovers' defence is good though. Oldham still in their own half at the moment, about 5 metres short. They're getting over that halfway line. As the half-time hooter goes here at Bowerfold, and the referee calls time off, and the players gather, the Featherstone Rovers players gather together on the field. They're going to have a bit of a chat on the field. Matty Wildy calls them all over for that chat, and the score here at Bowerfold at half-time is Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 16.
First half tries for Featherstone Rovers, then Josh Hardcastle going over for the first try of the afternoon. It was a Wildy pass out from the base of the scrum. From first receiver out to Hardcastle, who was able to get that ball down. That was converted by Ian Hardman. Crystal Lunyon then went over for a try about 5 minutes later to make it 10-0 to the Rovers, which Ian Hardman could not convert before Lockwood went over for a try just past the quarter mark to make it 14 points to 0. Conversion from Ian Hardman made it 16-0. It's been a great spell for Featherstone Rovers in the opening 25 minutes or so. Oldham hit back with a try 5 minutes before half-time from Wilkinson to make it 16 points to 4. That wasn't converted, and Joanne, it's been a great first half for Featherstone Rovers.
It certainly has. I want to apologise first of all. I think quite a few of you were without commentary for that first period of the game, and you probably missed the first 2 tries for Featherstone Rovers through Hardcastle only. Many apologies for that. We did have an issue with the connectivity here at Bowerfold. It's not the greatest, and we are absolutely pristine with it now, so you should get an uninterrupted second half of commentary. Thank you for coming back and joining us. But yeah, it has been a great first half for Featherstone Rovers. But actually, Oldham were looking brighter in that second half, and I think the introduction of their 4 substitutes, especially Matthew Wilkinson at hooker, made quite a bit of difference to the Oldham attack.
It has done. It's made a great difference. I think the interchanges that Oldham have made have had a real impact on that team. I've been impressed with Adebayo as well since he's come on for Oldham. He's looked dangerous taking that ball forward, as has Michael Ward, Joanne, as well since he's come on. He's looked threatening as well at times. The Rovers looking good for the money at the minute. They've been going down the slope. The sun is out. It's a glorious afternoon here at Bowerfield. And it is, sorry?
Bowerfold.
Bowerfold, sorry. A glorious afternoon here at Bowerfold. The sun is shining. The Rovers fans are just currently changing ends to go to the top of the ground where Featherstone will be attacking in that second half. And we have got a half-time score here at Bowerfold of Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 16.
Join us in a few minutes, and we'll be live with the second half. Welcome back to Bowerfold for the second half of this game here in Stalybridge. Just a reminder there that Featherstone Rovers are leading Oldham here by 16 points to 4. With those tries from Josh Hardcastle, Chris Alunya and James Lockwood. Josh Hardcastle getting his 15th try of the season, is Featherstone Rovers' leading try scorer. Oldham back out on the pitch. We're just awaiting Featherstone Rovers to come out at the moment. John Sharp's already out. He's making his way over to the opposite stand to his position there. Featherstone Rovers out on the pitch now, ready for this second half. They will be going up this slope that is apparent here at Stalybridge, although talking to Josh Walters after the game last week, he said that the slope is a bit of a myth because even when you're in defence, you have to retreat up the slope as well. So he said it's not really that much of a difference. So we shall see. As Sam Wood it is for Oldham that's going to kick off this game. As he does, it's a high kick off there. It's a short one for Thackeray, and Thackeray takes it, and he takes the ball forward, and he's tackled 12 metres away from his own line. Is Anthony Thackeray. Baldwinson now taking the ball forward. Baldwinson. 22 metres away. It comes to Richard Moore. Richard Moore now 30 metres away from the line. The ball's played now to Keele Carlisle. Featherstone Rovers now up to halfway with Jack Ormonroyd. Jack Ormonroyd plays the ball. It comes to Richard Moore. Richard Moore evades a couple of Oldham challengers and eventually gets put to ground. It's the last tackle that comes to Thackeray on this left. He puts a high kick up into the air for Neild. Neild takes it well though. But that's a great chase by Chris Olunya and Scott Turner to wrap Steve Neild up just metres away from his own line, and Oldham bringing it forward over the 10 metre. There's a run from dummy half there, and Featherstone Rovers defence is in well. 20 metres away from the line. Oldham, Wilkinson in at dummy half. It comes to Michael Ward. Ward gets met though by Moore and Baldwinson. Wilkinson lays that ball off, and Oldham just short of halfway, and it's the last tackle. So good stint in defence by Featherstone, and Sam Wood gets chased down by Carlisle. He dodges round him, puts a really high kick up for Ian Harmon to take, which he takes well, and he's taking it forward now and gets tackled just short of the Featherstone Rovers 40. Luke Briscoe in at dummy half. He takes it forward himself. He takes it up to the halfway line.
Those kicks aren't causing problems, aren't they, from Sam Wood there? That's the second time he's put one of those kicks in today. Joanne High comes down with snow and ice on it and anything else that he wants on it. But Rovers Ian Hardman taking that one on the full. A good return as well. And now Carlisle finds more. About 30 metres out from the Oldham line. There's an offload there to Hardman. Hardman's just way for the line. Still going, Ian Hardman. He's tackled 10 metres short. He plays the ball to Carlisle. Carlisle
comes to Thackeray. Thackeray out to Knowles. Knowles with a pass there to Scott Turner in space. Scott Turner goes over the try line there. For Featherstone Rovers takes the ball under the post. The referee, Oldham, pointing, saying that they don't think it should be a try, but the referee's going to give it, and Featherstone Rovers get the first points in this second half, and they're up to 20 points now with that try from Scott Turner. He said in pre-match preview that he was chasing Josh Hardcastle fast, and Josh Hardcastle got one in the first half. Scott Turner's got one in the second now. He doesn't want Josh Hardcastle getting away from him, does he there? That ball, good try from Scott Turner. The ball found him on the bounce. He had acres of space. The winger that was trying to move across slipped, giving Scott Turner probably 15 metres to get over that line. He was able to get the ball down under the sticks, crucially. Ian Hardman now is smack bang in front of those sticks. This should be a formality for him. And Featherstone Rovers have got the first points on the board of this second half. As Ian Hardman now takes that kick. He's smack bang in front. Ball sails straight between the uprights, and with barely 3 minutes gone in the second half, it's Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 22. So Featherstone Rovers with the first points of this second half. That's exactly what John Sharp would have wanted from his chargers as Oldham come up to take this kick-off with Sam Wood. Puts the ball on the tee. The tall figure of Sam Wood takes that kick-off. It's another high hanging one for Thackeray to take, but we saw last week, it's a shocking pass from Thackeray though. It goes into touch. Not sure what Anthony Thackeray was attempting there. He obviously thought one of his players were there on that left-hand touch line, but the ball just sailed into touch, and Oldham going to get a scrum on about 20 metres away from the Oldham line.
Shocking pass there from Anthony Thackeray. He knew straight away it was in front of the Luke Briscoe on this left-hand wing. Scott Turner. Yes, front of Scott Turner on this left-hand wing. who couldn't take that ball. It was way too far in front of him. He held his hands up straight away.
The ball comes out the back of the scrum now with Oldham and Hewitt. Hewitt gets it to Pierce Paul. Pierce Paul on the 20. Wilkinson in at dummy half, and it goes to Michael Ward. Ward charging forward, but the Featherstone defence is good with Baldwinson and Davis. It comes to Hewitt again. It's quick play of the ball. Comes out to Adamson, but he has to reach behind for it, and Featherstone pull him up 5 metres short of the line. Tyson in at dummy half, and it comes out to Sam Wood. Now into the middle with Ben Davis, and the penalty is given to Oldham for Featherstone Rovers offside. They were just too eager to get forward to tackle Ben Davis there, so the tap's going to be taken by Wilkinson on the 10 metre, and it goes to Davis. Davis charging forward. He gets tackled just short of that try line, that Featherstone try line. Oldham looking for a quick response here after Featherstone scored those tries. That first try of the second half, it comes to Wood, out to Hewitt. Hewitt lays it off to Pierce Paul. Pierce Paul on his own 10 gets tackled, lost a little bit of ground and momentum there, Oldham, with that move. Wilkinson in at dummy half, comes to Ward in the middle. Ward driving forward, tackled by Ormonroyd and Baldwinson, 5 metres short of that Featherstone line. Wilkinson to Adebayi, he's a strong guy. Adebayi looking for a try, just gets pulled up inches short, does Adebayi. Wilkinson at dummy half, takes it out to the left to Hewitt. Hewitt lays the ball off there, and there's a Featherstone Rovers player down. Ian Hardman's down behind the try line, so play's going to be stopped as the physio comes on. It's not like Ian Hardman to stay on the floor, so hopefully nothing too serious, but it does seem as though they're looking at his head. I don't know if he's had a little bit of a knock there, Ben.
I didn't see it myself. To be fair, I was following play then, Joanne, myself. But just going back earlier on in that set from Oldham, before they swung the ball out, first time, George Tyson on this right-hand side from the play, the ball came herring into the line. If the ball had gone to him, I don't know if anybody could have stopped him.
I think he was a foil, was George Tyson, to be fair. I think he would have got stopped. It was like the dummy runner, and it came out to the left-hand side instead. But play will continue in. Hardman is okay. So Oldham now with Sam Wood. He puts the kick in. It's fielded by Michael Knowles well, and he gets tackled on the 10 metre. So Featherstone defends that set of 6 very well, and it comes to Chris Alunya now. Alunya evades the tackle of Ward, takes it up to the 20 metre line, and plays the ball quickly. It comes to Richard Moore. Richard Moore gets the ball away, but Keil Carlisle knocks on. It was a decent offload as well for Keil Carlisle to take there, so it's going to be a scrum to Oldham, just 25 metres away from the Featherstone line.
I was just thinking there, Rovers defensively in this game have looked pretty solid as Oldham have been attacking on that line. They held out and then again well, but an offload from Richard Moore there. It was a clean offload. It was a good offload. Carlisle takes that. He had room to go forward in, but he just couldn't take that ball. And Rovers inviting more pressure, and Oldham now 30 metres out.
Comes to Dave Hewitt. Dave Hewitt to George Tyson, who's joined the line over on that left-hand side. He's the right centre, but he's moved over to that side for that play. Featherstone Rovers tacklers were good, though. And now it's with Liam Thompson. He's 15 metres out from that Featherstone try line. Wilkinson goes himself from dummy half, then passes to Wood. There's some good passing there by Oldham, and Steve Neal takes it forward 5 metres short. Intense pressure from Oldham at the moment. Ben Davis now, and he gets the ball away. Igbenadian's on the field for Featherstone Rovers.
He's sneaked
And
off.
Adebayi goes for the line, but he gets tackled. And the ball's played. It comes out to Sam Wood again, and it's going out to that right-hand side, and the ball's kept alive by Oldham, and Clay's got the ball, but Michael Knowles wraps him up. It's the last tackle 10 metres out, and Wilkinson goes himself, and Sam Wood puts the kick in, and it goes into Igbenadian's hands, and he gets his first touch, and he gets away from 2 Oldham tacklers, and what a great first touch of the ball for Dan Igbenadian there.
Can't beat that, can you? 20 metres made there. It was he was able to knock off a couple of tacklers now. Rovers over the 40 because of that break from Igbenadian and Josh Hardcastle. They're playing this ball 5 metres shy of halfway. Zachary from in half gets Rovers over halfway. They're in a good position, John. Tackles in hand.
Carlisle in at dummy half. He gets it out to the right-hand side with Wilde, who puts a kick early in the tackle count, and it goes forward. It goes behind the dead ball line. The chasers are on for Neil, who picks it up. Great chase by Matty Wilde. He does make it over into the field of play, does Neil, but it's a fantastic chase, and Oldham are having to play the ball a metre out as Andy Bostock comes onto the field for Featherstone Rovers. So they're making substitutions at the moment. We've seen Igbenadian and Bostock enter the field for the Rovers, and the Oldham are 10 metres out from their own line. They're bringing the ball away, make it up to the 30. It's a good defensive set from Featherstone so far in this set of 6. Igbenadian in there in the tackle. It's the last tackle, and they've only made it just shy of the 40 of Oldham. It comes across to the left-hand side with Dave Hewitt, who puts the kick in. He floats one for Ian Hardman to take. He just keeps in the field. Oh, he's put a foot in touch as Ian Hardman. Uncharacteristic error by him over. Oh, was it Luke Briscoe? Sorry.
I think it was
Luke Briscoe.
Was it? I thought it was Ian Hardman. Might be wrong.
Out on that right-hand side. I think it was Hardman, actually.
Yeah, foot in touch. Unfortunate there for Rovers. It had been a great defensive effort, though, Joanne.
And it's a penalty to Oldham.
I can all presume that's been for something that's been said.
No, he didn't say dissent. He touched his foot, did the referee. I'm not sure on that rule, but we'll have a review of that later. Michael Ward now takes the ball forward, 5 metres short. So Oldham, after not having a great set, Sam Wood going himself. Gets tackled 5 metres short by Michael Knowles. Good tackle from Knowles there to keep Wood out. And Wilkinson dances behind Adebayo. Surely that was shepherding there. Wilkinson plays the ball, and it comes to Tyson. Tyson tries to get the ball away, and he does to Clay out on the right wing. And Clay comes in to the middle of the field and gets tackled by Darryl Griffin, who's also entered the field for Featherstone. Comes to Hewitt, to Ward. Ward on the charge towards those posts. Great tackling by the Featherstone Rovers defence there, though, and it's the last tackle. Ward plays it very uncharacteristically. Wilkinson going for his second, but it's not successful this time from dummy half. And Featherstone get the turnover right on their try line.
Again, outstanding defence from Featherstone Rovers there. Joanne Oldham throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the Rovers. Rovers manning up, able to keep this Oldham team out. And they're now playing the ball tight to their own line. It's a big set, this.
It is Mason and Burke are going to enter the field for Oldham, by the looks of it, in the following minutes. And Oldham keeping Featherstone penned within their own 10 metres at the moment as the ball's played. And Carlisle takes it, a scoop from dummy half as an Oldham player's back down in back play. Referee stops the clock for that player to get some attention. Presumably it's a head injury.
Gives Oldham an opportunity to make the changes want to make. Like I say, Mason and Burke are waiting to come on there, prowling that touchline at the moment. Be interesting to see who comes off.
I think it's Michael Ward that's down injured in back play.
Oldham just delaying these 2 changes whilst this injury. Also have a look at this injury and make an assessment on this injury. Obviously, this may have an effect on the changes that they need to make here, maybe.
Doctors out there as well, so it's a fairly serious one that needs looking at, this injury. I think the medical staff are getting the player to his feet, though. They're happy with the test that they've done. It is Michael Ward who's sat down there. He's taking on water now, so he should be able to return to action by the looks of it.
We just had the 1 try since half-time, John. It came early doors for Featherstone Rovers. A try from Scott Turner, converted by Ian Hardman. That's made it 22 points to 4. Rovers have been under the cosh quite a bit these past few minutes. They're looking strong in defence, so Oldham struggling to break this Rovers defence down.
Michael Ward having to leave the field after that injury, actually. So Keil Carlisle's going to play this ball 22 metres out as Nathan Mason tries to come on for Ward. There's a little bit of a mix-up. He eventually takes to the field, does Nathan Mason, to replace Ward. Keil Carlisle going to play the ball, and it's hot out there at the moment. We've got the sun shining on us, and Andy Bostock now with the ball, 30 metres out. Plays the ball, it comes to Igbenadian. He takes it forward. He's a strong running player, is Danny Igbenadian. He takes it up to the halfway line. It's good to see him in Featherstone Rovers colours as Thackeray puts a kick for Turner to chase. Neil is chasing it himself, and Turner's He can hear Turner's footsteps and he just makes it over the try line, doesn't he, Oldham? Featherstone Rovers come in and he's given a dropout because Featherstone Rovers force it. Kneeled back over the try line. Great chase in defence by Featherstone Rovers there.
Superb effort in defence from the Rovers there to force a dropout from Oldham. And I have to say, I'm impressed with Danny Grenadian. He's driving that ball so well. He's dragging men into the tackle every time, Joanne, which is creating gaps for the players around him. And Rovers at the minute is really adding something, I think, at the moment.
We've seen what he did with Dewsbury and Dewsbury colours, haven't we? And he's certainly got a good attitude to go forward as Igbenadian. And like I say, it's good to see him in blue and white. As that dropout comes, it's a long dropout. It goes over the heads, and Luke Briscoe just manages to keep it in the field of play down there on that right-hand touch line. And it was a very good dropout from Oldham. So Featherstone are in their own half, 5 metres within their own half, and they're looking to make it over halfway, which they do with Cale Carlisle. Hardman in at dummy half, and it comes to Bostock. Bostock takes on Wilkinson, and he gets past him, but eventually gets wrapped up. He's got over the 40, though, and here's Darryl Griffin on the charge. Griffin with a great drive forward, makes a good 15 metres. Just short of the 10-metre line, and Featherstone now playing the ball. It comes over to the left with Thackeray, and he jinks and decided not to pass to Igbenadian. It's the last tackle. So Carlisle, it's dummy half, it's last tackle, and he nearly got caught with it. Wildy puts a kick through, and it's taken well by Steve Neals. Featherstone chasers weren't really alert to that. Perhaps not the best plan there for the end of the set by Featherstone Rovers. And Oldham with the ball now, 35 metres away from that Oldham line. George Tyson going forward. He's a tough cookie. Alunya and Knowles in with the tackle. He's looking for a penalty. It wasn't forthcoming though. And Clay now, the right winger, just takes it up to just short of halfway line for Oldham. Out onto the left-hand side. Ball's taken forward by Joe Burke, who's also entered the field. Comes to Dave Hewitt now, who drills a kick along into touch. So there'll be a scrum set 10 metres away from the Featherstone line. Oldham obviously wanting to hunt the Featherstone mistake with that play on the last.
Yeah, good kick there from Oldham on that last tackle. Finding touch deep in that Rovers 20. Rovers are going to get head and feed on the 10-metre line. The sun is scorching at the moment. The heat is unbelievable down on pitch side. It's warm where we are in the stand. I can't imagine what it's like out on the field. But Rovers at the moment are looking solid in defence. And they've got the points in the second half on the board to stretch that lead out further. Going up that slope, this heat could have a bearing though, Joanne.
They're a fit bunch of Featherstone Rovers. Come out of the back of the scrum there with Ian Hardman. Oldham looked to have broken that scrum early there, but referees let it go. And it comes now with Josh Hardcastle. He's come for a little bit of action in the middle. Cale Carlisle in at dummy half. Igbenadian now with the ball. Drives it forward, takes 3 men on his back, makes another good few metres for Featherstone Rovers. One-handed pick up by Carlisle. Bostock gets the ball away, but it's gone onto the ground. Alunya eventually picks it up, a little bit scrappy there. Alunya goes straight and forward, back to the place where Bostock offloaded actually. Comes to Wildy on that right-hand side. He floats a kick over towards the touchline. That's a great kick from Matty Wildy. Good game management by him on the last tackle there for Featherstone Rovers.
Perfection in terms of game management, Joanne. On the last tackle there, a good kick over the top. Finding touch within the 10, probably about 5 metres from the Oldham line. Oldham now are going to have to bring that ball out from deep themselves. This Rovers defence, like I say, it's been strong all afternoon. Oldham struggling to break it down at the minute. And we've got probably about 15, 20 minutes gone in this second half, if not a little bit longer, and still Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 22.
So the ball comes out of the back of scrum for Oldham, and Playitis, who has the ball in hand, gets tackled 10 metres away from the line. Great tackling by Featherstone Rovers there on the second phase of play there for Oldham, and Mason now with the ball takes it forward. Tall, rangy figure of Nathan Mason for Oldham. He's just tackled 5 metres short of the 40. Kneeled now with the ball. on the 4th tackle of this set. Still in their own half, Oldham at the moment. Dummy half there, Hughes goes and he gets the ball away, and I think there's a knock on there by Oldham. Hughes did well from dummy half, but his players weren't alert to him passing the ball, and it's gone to the ground, so Featherstone Rovers going to get a put in at the scrum, 5 metres short of halfway.
Yeah, good defensive effort there from Oldham to keep. Sorry, good defensive effort there from Featherstone to keep Oldham out. Forced the mistake just inside the Featherstone half. So Rovers are going to get head and feet 5 metres inside their own half. They're going to get more or less a full set in the Oldham half to try and get some territory, try and pin Oldham back, Joanne. And this is a good opportunity now.
It certainly is, Ben, and it comes out the back of the scrum there with Scott Turner. He'll be looking for a second try. In fact, he loves a meat pie, does Scott Turner. He'll be looking for some more, I think. He always tweets about them after the game. That's good play by Luke Briscoe, but equally good play by the Oldham defenders. And eventually the penalty does go to Featherstone Rovers. Nathan Mason not letting go of Luke Briscoe there, earning Featherstone Rovers a penalty, trying to get to his feet. And Featherstone are going to get a good set of 6 here in a good position.
So from forcing that mistake, Joanne, just inside their own half, they've got the territory. They're on the back of the penalty now with Bostock driving in for the sticks. This is now a great opportunity, Joanne.
Sees Bostock 10 metres out. Carlisle in at dummy half comes to Thackeray. Thackeray to Alunya. Alunya takes on Tyson, but Tyson brings him to the floor. And the ball comes loose, and the referee gives yet another penalty to Featherstone Rovers. It was reefed out there of the tackle, out of Chris Alunya's hands. So Featherstone taking the tap on the 10 with Carlisle. It comes to Thackeray to Griffin. Griffin's fancying his chances. He drives towards that try line and just gets hauled down short. Done some really strong drives this afternoon, Darryl Griffin. Carlisle in at dummy half. It comes to Wildy. Wildy to Davis. Davis out to Hardman, who's come into the line. He gets it to Briscoe. Briscoe gets over in the right-hand corner for Featherstone Rovers to get 26 points up for Featherstone Rovers in response to Oldham's 4.
Pressure building there from Featherstone Rovers. It was crucial. It all came about from the mistake from Oldham just inside the Rovers half. And then a penalty conceded as well. It was good hands to move it across the line. Ian Hardman drawing the winger in and finding Briscoe on that far side in space. Able to get that ball down for Featherstone Rovers. Like you say, Joanne, we've got Rovers looking strong at the moment. It's a 26 points to 4 lead. And we're probably in about 15-20 minutes left of this game.
Ian Hardman got a difficult conversion attempt out on this right-hand touch line because Luke Briscoe it was that sneaked in. Looks like Baldwinson's going to enter the field for Darryl Griffin. He's put some good metres in as Darryl Griffin during his stint in this second half. Some good go forward from him, and Jordan Baldwinson replaces him. Hardman's just teeing up this kick now. Like I say, it's not the easiest one for him, probably his hardest of the afternoon. Luke Briscoe will be pleased to get on the score sheet after a 6-game absence through injury.
It's so vital to this Featherstone Rovers team, Luke Briscoe, Joanne. We talked to him before the game about the 2 wingers.
Hardman coming in to strike the ball. He hits the upright, does Ian Hardman? So unlucky there, so close to converting that. It does remain Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 26 in this Kingston Press Championship game. A crucial one in terms of cementing Featherstone Rovers' top 4 aspirations. Obviously, there's 2 games to play after this one, and Featherstone will be wanting to go higher than 4th.
They will, obviously, victories in those 2 games. Crucial for Featherstone Rovers. This was a real potential banana skin for Rovers in terms of the top 4 ambitions, Joanne. But they've attacked it with a real professionalism about the way they've played today.
Wood with the high kick-off again. Thackeray takes it well. Thackeray's taken those kick-offs well all afternoon. They have been tricky for him, but he's been assertive with them, and he's come forward to take that ball and shouted for it. And it's always been a little bit of a weakness for Featherstone Rovers in some games. But Igbenadian now takes the ball forward. He takes it up to the 40. metres forward in his stint, in his stats while he's been on the field, Igbinadian, because he's certainly, him and Griffin probably neck and neck for most metres gained. Bostock now makes it over the halfway line. Carlisle at dummy half gets it to Davis. Davis on the charge. Then he goes forward, and that's a great drive by John Davis. Gets it up to 25 metres out. Knowles with a kick now on the left-hand side for Turner to chase. It just skips away on this dry turf and goes dead. So it's going to be a 20-metre tap for Oldham. Probably, I think, the first 20-metre tap of the game, this one.
Yeah, seven tackle set this for Oldham. We've talked in the past, not today, but in previous games, about the option Michael Knowles gives us with the kicking, taking the pressure off Thackeray and Wilding. The kick there from Michael Knowles, just a little bit too much on it on Oldham now with a 7 tackle set, and they're probably about 5 metres shy of halfway now.
The ball misses out Nathan Mason. It comes to Adam Clay, the right winger. Plays the ball and it comes out to the left-hand side with Hewitt. Hewitt passes it through the hands to Pierce Paul. Makes it up to the Featherstone 40. Hewitt again with ball in hand to Wilkinson. Joe Burke it is then who takes it forward. He's 25 metres out, tackled by Featherstone Rovers defence. It comes to Hewitt on that left-hand side, who's looked lively all afternoon, to Pierce Paul, who puts a pass to Wilkinson, who drills a kick through. Scott Turner's going to take this easily, though. It wasn't the best of kicks from Wilkinson, and he gets tackled just Scott Turner 8 metres away from his own line.
Perfectly positioned there, Scott Turner, to take that kick. He took it well. Like I say, not the best kick through from Oldham on that occasion. But Rovers able to defend that easily enough, and they've now got opportunity to bring that ball forward, which they're doing well over on that right-hand side.
Great run by Josh Hardcastle, made a good 10 to 15 metres. Scott Turner now, the backs giving the forwards just a little bit of a breather and bringing the ball forward. Baldwinson now comes back to the forwards. He makes it over the halfway line. He's 45 metres out away from the Oldham line. Wildian at dummy half. Gives it to Davis, who puts a kick through. It's taken, though, out there on that left-hand side, and then it's brought into the middle by Connor Williams. Williams plays the ball, and it comes then to George Tyson, who's looked eager all game, but he drops the ball, and John Davis, it's a free play. It comes out to Thackeray. Thackeray dummies. He goes one way, he goes the other. It's still a free play at the moment. Michael Knowles now with the ball. He eventually gets tackled, so Featherstone Rovers going to get a set now, 10 metres out as the ball's played, and Wildian at dummy half. He's gone to that hook and roll. It comes to Thackeray. It was put under pressure, was Thackeray there by Luke Adamson. It was good play by Adamson. Featherstone asking if he was actually offside, because he seemed to be up on Thackeray very quickly. But no, it was good play by the Oldham loose forward there to put that pressure on Thackeray. He puts the ball to ground, and Oldham get a scrum on the 10-metre line.
Yes, they do. It was from the free play initially, Rovers bringing that ball to this left-hand side. Thackeray just unable to take that ball in, putting that ball to ground, but Rovers turning it over on the Oldham 10. Oldham do have the full length of that field to go, Joanne.
They do. I suppose the disappointing aspect is that they did put the ball to ground so early in there, and now they've given a penalty away. Igbinadian and Lockwood not letting the Oldham player up. They didn't clear the ruck, and there's a kick come from Sam Wood. It's quite a deep kick, and Oldham are going to get a tap on the Featherstone 40, which is actually 35 metres away from the Featherstone line. The Oldham taking it forward now.
Keil Carlisle's come off for Featherstone Rovers, Joanne.
Yeah, Wildy's been playing hooker for the last few sets for Featherstone. I didn't see the interchange happen. That's great tackling there from Wildy and Orman Royd, and the ball's dropped by Oldham now, so we've entered a scrappy part of the game. Mistakes coming from both sides, a little bit of tiredness maybe from the sides. It has been a very warm afternoon.
Be interesting to see how Rovers adapt to the Keil Carlisle coming off with Wildy going in at 9. Rovers obviously, who will they put in the halves, do we think?
Thackeray is who's going to feed the scrum. I'm not sure if it was Johnny Davis, because Davis put the kick in the last set, or the set before that, should I say. Anyway, the ball's played quickly by Hardcastle. Briscoe scoots from dummy half and makes a good 10 to 15 metres forward. That's great play by Briscoe. He's trying to get to his feet to play the ball. He's not allowed, but eventually gets there, and Baldwinson now drives the ball forward. Featherstone 28 metres away from that Oldham line. It comes to Thackeray. Thackeray to Knowles. Delightful pass from Thackeray to Knowles. That was a lovely short pass. Knowles takes it up 10 metres short. Wildy in at dummy half to Thackeray. Thackeray to Ormonroyd, who's going forward, easily looking for a try. It's the last tackle. It's 5 metres short, and Wildy now from dummy half. Wildy fancies his chances. It's perhaps not the best option though from Wildy there, and he gets tackled, and it's going to be a turnover for Oldham.
But turning the ball over tight on the Oldham line gives Rovers a chance to defend it, keep the discipline, pin Oldham back, force that mistake, as we're going to see Ben Davis returning for Oldham soon as well.
Clay now with the ball. It is Oldham 4, Featherstone Rovers 26 in this game here at Bowerfold in Stalybridge. Comes to Nathan Mason in the middle of the field. Oldham are 30 metres away from the line. 10 minutes remaining in this game.
On our watch.
On our watch, yes. no clock here at Bowerfold, unfortunately, so we do it ourselves. Comes to Adamson now. Adamson with a good run, but Knowles and Ormonroyd tackle him, and he's 42 metres out, and it's the last tackle. Tyson in at dummy half, passes it to Wood. Wood with one of his trademark high kicks for Hardman to take in the sunshine. He does well, and he passes the ball to Turner. Turner gets tackled by Clay and Tyson, though, 10 metres out from his own line.
I always get nervous when I see those passes right across your own line, Joanne, 5 metres away. It always makes me nervous for some reason.
Great run again by Luke Briscoe, taking on the Oldham defenders. Josh Hardcastle now doing equally as well, making another 10 metres up that field, and Featherstone almost in their half, and with Igmanadian they make it. That's a 15-metre run from him. Featherstone making the metres forward in this set. It comes to Thackeray to Alunya. Alunya gets tackled by Tyson out on this left centre, and the referee's called a forward pass. The Oldham fans in front of us actually did shout for that, and the referee or touch judge agreed with them.
Bad mistake for Rovers there. An opportunity, good territory we had there, Joanne. We were in the Oldham 40, pressing for that line, so that's not what we needed. We're gifting possession back to Oldham. Coming up the slope, like I say, in this heat, Rovers have to work hard defensively now. But that's something they've done really well all afternoon, worked hard defensively for each other. And to keep Oldham down to one score, it's a great effort. Tyson
and Alunya both got injured in that tussle there when Tyson tackled Alunya, but they've both joined the lines. They still look a little bit shaky, both of them. Alunya taking on some water, brought on to him by Luke Cooper. Kyron Johnson with the water bottle this afternoon as well, doing a sterling job keeping those Featherstone Rovers players hydrated. So the ball comes in on the Oldham 40 into the scrum, and it comes out the back and get tackled 2 metres short of halfway line. Hughes in at dummy half, and he shades to go one way and then the other, almost gets through, but eventually gets tackled by Igmanadian. But they have made it up to the Featherstone 30 of Oldham now, and it comes with Burke. Burke takes it forward. Baldwinson in on the tackle with him. And Lockwood. High pass to Hewitt. Hewitt then to Wood. Wood to Tyson. Tyson challenging Alunya, but eventually Thackeray wraps him up. And then it comes to Adamson, who's in space. And Adamson's going towards that Featherstone try line. He does get tackled 3 or 4 metres away from it, and it's the last tackle. It comes to Adebayo. He's going for the try line. He's got over for Oldham. That's a try for Oldham. So Oldham 8, Featherstone Rovers 26.
How disappointing is that for Featherstone Rovers there? Adebayo finding the gap, able to get that ball down midway between the right-hand touchline and the uprights to get Oldham's second try of the afternoon. Rovers have been so sterling in defence for so long, but Oldham just able to find a way through Adebayo. George Tyson is just getting some treatment down in front of us as well. He's limping at the moment. But try for Oldham, like I say, on my watch, we've got about 5 minutes left. And it's now Oldham 8, Featherstone Rovers 26.
I do apologise. I think I've been pronouncing his name wrong because the announcer here at Bower Falls just said Adabiye. So apologies there, Mr. Adabiye. Dave Hewitt with the conversion attempt.
I've been doing it myself as well, so.
I know. we'll correct ourselves now, though. So 10 metres to the right of the uprights, Dave Hewitt with this conversion attempt. A bit easier than his previous one. He's successful with it, so that's Oldham into double figures. Oldham 10, Featherstone Rovers 26 in this game. Less than 10 minutes remaining. Featherstone Rovers coming back up the field, ready for this kick-off. Scott Turner with the tee in his hand.
On my watch, we've got 5 minutes left. That's the unofficial clock, of course.
Yeah, that's why I said less than 10. Scott Turner with the kick-off. It's a high one out to that Oldham left. It's taken well by Connor Williams, though. Just competing with the PA man at the moment.
I don't think you could do that sort of thing at a rugby match nowadays, can you?
I've no idea.
It's the only place, the only ground I know of in rugby league where they actually do this.
So Oldham now 25 metres out from their own line. Igbenadian and Ormonroyd in with the tackle there. It comes to the left-hand side with Pierce Paul. That's a rough tackle on Pierce Paul by Matty Wilde. He's felt that. That was a real one-on-one, almost a Cumberland through tackle, but a legal one it was. So Oldham still in their own half at the moment. Comes out to Wilkinson to Adibiyi. Takes it over the halfway line. The try scorer. Last tackle it is. It comes to Sam Wood. Wood floats another high kick into this sun for Scott Turner. He's challenged for it by Adamson. I think the penalty is going to go to Featherstone Rovers, though, because Scott Turner was illegally challenged by Luke Adamson there. So Featherstone going to get this penalty on the 20 metre.
Yeah, tackled off the ball. An obvious call for the referee to make there.
Right under the referee's nose as well, wasn't it?
It's silly to do, really. When he's so close to the referee there, Scott Turner tackled off the ball. It gives Rovers a get out of their own 20. They're going to start on their own 40 then with a tap from Matthew Wilde. And here's Michael Knowles driving that ball in first tackle. Rovers are 5 metres shy of halfway, still leading by 26 points to 10.
Baldwinson now takes it up to the halfway line. He gets tackled in the middle of the field. Matty Wilde in at dummy half. Like I say, in that hook and roll, Igbenadian takes it. It took it standing still there, but still managed to make about 5 metres forward. And now it comes to Ormonroyd, who's got a little bit of pace up and pumps those long legs. He gets tackled 20 metres out. It comes to Michael Knowles in a little bit of space. Michael Knowles with a drop off of his shoulder there, and it's the last tackle. It's a quick play of the ball. Wilde's got the ball. He gets it to Thackeray. Thackeray's going to go over the line and go under the sticks to get the 30 up for Featherstone Rovers. It's Oldham 10, Featherstone Rovers 30.
Set up the position brilliant there, did Michael Knowles. It was a drive for that line. Quick play the ball to Wilde. Wilde inside pass to Thackeray. Thackeray showing twinkle toes to dance around the Oldham defence, find a gap, able to get that ball down under the sticks. Rovers hit 30, like I say. We're well inside the last 3 minutes. I think we're about 3 minutes to go. And it's Oldham 10, Featherstone Rovers 30 now.
Ian Hardman with a conversion attempt under the sticks because Thackeray made it easier for him by scooting away under those posts. So he should convert this to put Featherstone 32 points to 10 in the lead, and Featherstone cemented their place in the top four.
Guaranteed themselves a place in the top four.
They certainly have. They cemented that place, and I was going to say they could relax a little, but I'm sure that John Sharp will not be wanting them to relax. No. And it's important that Featherstone go into those Super 8s
with some momentum.
With momentum, because it's, you want to go on the back of a few wins as Ian Hardman converts that Thackeray try and indeed makes it 32 points to 10. So, like I was saying, it is important that Featherstone Rovers do go into these Super 8s qualifiers with some momentum and in a good position as well, because obviously the higher position you get, the more money, the prize money that you get even before you kick off in those Super 8s.
Indeed, and just looking at the other scores as well, obviously Rovers still not out of the running for second place either, Joanne, at the minute. They're only a point behind London Broncos, who are currently beating Sheffield at the moment at home. So Oldham, have they? No, they haven't. I thought for a minute Oldham had got the ball back from the kick-off. They have.
Come off a Featherstone Rovers play. It was a short kick-off. Featherstone Rovers player touched the ball. It went into touch. So Oldham have got a scrum on the Featherstone 40. And London, what I would say about them is they do have quite
easier running.
Well, it's the bottom 8 teams that they're playing in the running, haven't they? So, So Featherstone have got Halifax at home. We're looking to pack Post Office Road, the LD Nutrition Stadium, out next week. So get down there. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. Lots planned. So if you're listening now at the moment, make your plans, clear your diary for next Sunday. Get down to the LD Nutrition Stadium and support these boys in blue and white and congratulate them for getting into the top 4.
It's going to be a massive occasion down there next week, isn't it? Between two teams who are going to be battling it out again in that top 4, of course. Halifax at the minute looking favourites to be there, although the way the fixtures are going, I still wouldn't rule Toulouse out at the minute either.
Sam Wood with the ball now, gets it to Adamson. Adamson tries to get the ball away. It goes forward. Does it to Tyson? It looks like it had gone forward, but the referee says play on, and Tyson gets over the line for Oldham. Oldham get 14 points on the board with the kick to come. Oldham 14, Featherstone Rovers 32.
I thought that had gone forward myself, Joanne. I'm with you, I have to say that, but the referee judging, no, it hadn't gone forward, it was flat. So Oldham are on the board themselves, they've got more points, and it could go against Featherstone in terms of points difference. I'm not sure how much of a difference it'll have positionally.
No. Well, it won't, because Featherstone Rovers, it shouldn't do, because Featherstone have got that draw, so they're on an odd point compared to the rest of the teams around them, Ben. What I was going to say about next week is Dave Hewitt is going to just tee up this conversion attempt next week. It is the last Ordinary League game of the season as well, so it's always good for last league game of the season at home. Yes,
yep.
It's always good for the crowd to turn out for that last home game in numbers, support the players, thank the players for the Ordinary League season, and send them off with congratulations into those Super 8 qualifiers. Dave Hewitt now on this right-hand touchline, couple of metres in with the conversion attempt. I think he's just got it to the right-hand side of the post there, so he's unsuccessful. So it's Oldham 14, Featherstone Rovers 32 here at Bowerfold, Staley Bridge.
So Rovers then just taking position, walking back to centre field now for the kickoff. It's been disappointing, the tries that Featherstone Rovers have conceded on, but they've, all in all, I think they've been comfortable this afternoon. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, it's never been in doubt, hasn't the scoreline for me? They've always been on top, and Scott Turner with the kickoff now. It's a short one, but it's taken well out there on the left-hand side by Oldham. Featherstone Rovers with the chase, and Oldham 20 metres away from their own line, and Michael Ward has returned onto the field after being off after picking up that injury. He gets the ball away as well and goes out into the middle of the field with Joe Burke, who also offloads, but it goes behind his players, and Hewitt with a little bit of basketball there gives it to Kenny Hughes. Hughes eventually gets tackled on his own 40, so Oldham keeping the ball alive in that phase of play then. Wood in at dummy half, gets it to Adebayi, takes it up just short of halfway. Featherstone clear there up quickly. Wood with a dummy from dummy half, gets it to Burke. Burke over the 40. Goes out to the left-hand side now, and the final hooter goes as Hewitt puts a kick over the top. That's taken well by Luke Briscoe. Briscoe still taking the ball forward. He eventually gets tackled by Adebayi on the 20. So that's full time here at Bowerfold. The result is Oldham 14, Featherstone Rovers 32. Featherstone Rovers are in the Super 8 qualifiers for the second year in succession. Magnificent achievement by the boys in blue and white. They'll be going to the LD Nutrition Stadium next week for the last home game of the Ordinary League season. Get down there, get the place packed out and support these boys.
Yeah, good victory for Featherstone Rovers then. They were leading 16 points to 4 at half-time, Joanne. Then a try from Scott Turner really early on in that second half, after only a couple of minutes even. That stretched Rovers out to 22 points to 4 after the conversion from Hardman. Briscoe then went over for a try to make it 26-4 before Oldham got themselves on the scoreboard themselves. What a crazy last 10 minutes that was. Try for Oldham from Adabi, which was converted by Hewitt. Then Thackeray for a try converted by Hardman before Tyson over in that last minute for an unconverted try. It finished 32 points to 14. Like you say, Rovers cementing a place in that top 4. Now they will be looking now to try and finish as high as they can. They'll be looking for a second or third place finish, but they can take a lot from this victory today, Joanne.
Certainly can. Thank you for listening this afternoon on Rovers TV. We'll be talking to John Sharp and a few of the players after this game. Look out for them on Rovers TV site this week and join us in person if you can at the LD Nutrition Stadium next Sunday. If you can't join us in person, make sure you tune in. Thank you very much.